welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Well, thank you for joining us. Now in the final segment of our every Saturday show with the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show.
Would it be appropriate, since it's football playoff season, to say it's the fourth quarter, Don?
Oh, yeah, fourth quarter. How about that? And thank you for tuning in, because maybe the games haven't started yet.
That's right.
So this last segment, we kind of alluded to that we're going to talk about. Actually, we'd love you to join us. I always forget to do that, because we do this show live, believe it or not, and we have it videotaped. Every single show, every single interview we do is videotaped and on our YouTube channel. In fact, you can join us live by going to donandgino.com. Click on the live stream button. You enter our custom built studio right here at Skyline Home Loans at the Sunkist building. Now we just moved, and thank you for your help in helping Skyline grow, just because we're doing a great job for all of you with your dream of home ownership. And on top of that, we put these on YouTube. There's like 1,800 YouTube videos. If you click on our YouTube link, you can see interviews with financial planners, estate planners, college planners. I mean, right now, Rob's killing it with our college plan. We sent so many clients to him.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it would be a crime to not have anybody sit with Rob and before they go to college. It's just, when I see the wealth of information and just to help people make a good, educated decision about college.
What about you recently, unfortunately, with your mom passing, the trust?
Yeah, thank goodness that trust was completely dialed in.
Had the trust all completed, and now you knew exactly what your mom wanted and how to handle it.
Yep.
So
now we got to remodel it, and so it's, look, having a trust in place makes you confident that you're doing the things that your loved ones want. So if nothing else, that's important. And it gives you the tools to do it, right? I had advanced medical directives, anything I needed so that I could make decisions.
All right. So again, go to donandgino.com. Also, we have the National Real Estate Cafe on it, where every day we do a little blog on what's happening in the real estate and financial markets that day. So it's very important stuff. You'll know exactly what's happening, despite the media spins. There's a lot of political spins, media spins, entertainment spins, marketing spins. We have no fake news.
No fake news. That's what we always say, because the reality is that we don't have a vested interest in eyeballs, right? We don't have anybody measuring how many people watch our show and pay us accordingly, which is ultimately what all of those media outlets are.
Yeah.
The reality is we want to make sure that you get the accurate information so that you can make good decisions about your real estate and finances going forward, because we know how expensive the bad advice could be.
Yes, it's awful. Okay, so we were teasing you a little bit about the demographics, or those who can take the most advantage between now, third week in January, to spring.
Even more than that, I'm going to stretch this out and say this is probably the best class of, the most benefited class in 2018 is probably this particular group.
I agree.
And the reason is because, when you're in Vegas and you've made a lot of money at some sort of game, whether it be blackjack or poker or whatever it is, craps, at some point you have to say, I made a lot of money. I've done really well. It's a good time to cash in these chips. And so what we're alluding to is that sellers have a unique opportunity in 2018 to cash in some chips. Maybe you were a first-time home buyer in 2010, 2011, and you've just made a killing. You've made hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity, and it might be a good time to, I'm not saying get out of the housing market, I'm saying it might be a good time to cash in those chips, reinvest some chips, and then reallocate these assets. Remember that being equity rich and cash poor is not a good thing. So it might be a good time to balance your portfolio. Don't forget that your home is an asset, that equity is an asset, and you need to rebalance that, which you might need to see a financial planner like Chris Ingram to make sure that you're balancing your portfolio and you're not disproportionate and you don't get hurt by the housing market should it turn.
Right, because a lot of us did get hurt because you're like, well, I have $500,000, I have $200,000 in equity, I can always get it.
Nope.
Well, when the market turns or your job turns, then you can't get to that equity position. So now might be the time. Or in the last few years, maybe your family has grown, and now you can basically take the equity position of your current home and buy your next dream home for you and your family.
I just did an analysis for somebody, and their home doesn't work for them anymore. And they'll be able to move up to a bigger, better home for $1,000 more a month. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but they got to move in their dad. they don't have a choice. They have to do something. They've got to move in a parent. And so that's a real life situation where they've got to make a move. And so they'll be able to move in a parent for $1,000 a month, much cheaper than putting them in a home, let me tell you.
There you go.
So it is actually a big savings. It seems like an expense, but it's actually a giant savings. And they'll be able to move up to a more comfortable home that suits their needs better and still put $50,000 in their pocket.
Right. And you want to do that now because if you are buying a bigger home, you want to do it while rates are at near their lowest levels. So right now we have a tight inventory, like some of the lowest inventory numbers we have seen in years. Therefore, for you sellers, this is the best time to get top dollar because there's not much competition. So now is the time. And don't wait till spring. A lot of you go, I'll just wait till spring. Well, guess what? Everybody's saying that. So now, why don't you be the first kid on the block with the only, the only apples in town?
Yeah, the good news is if there's nothing for sale in your area, you probably have a really good chance of selling your home in the first couple of weeks. And that's prime time, prime dollar, to a great buyer. You also get your best selection of buyers. That's the beautiful thing is you get to pick. Let's say you have 4 or 5 offers. You get to pick the cream of the crop, the best buyer you can. I know of a particular agent in the San Fernando Valley who just took a listing. He says there's not one comp, nothing comparable for sale within a mile. So they're going to try to get $25,000 to $50,000 more than the last time a home sold in that area because there's nothing else to buy. Supply and demand. You learned it late high school, early college. It still exists today.
All right. The other demographic that should be thinking about this and cashing in their chips, especially if they're thinking about downsizing. Now would be a wonderful time. Can you imagine downsizing, be able to take a huge chunk and maybe either purchase it all cash and not have a mortgage payment, or a portion to lower their mortgage payment, or potentially put that all into investment account to keep for reserves or to pass on your heirs and get a reverse mortgage.
I was just going to say, you could look to do a purchase with reverse and a downsize with a purchase reverse. And I know that sounds complicated.
Sounds fun.
But it's one of the most advantageous financial planning strategies for seniors to downsize right now. It's super safe. That's one of the most important things is it's super safe for somebody that knows they're buying their last home, the home they want to stay in. It's super safe for spouses. Because let's say one should pass, then the other one can never be evicted from the home.
Right.
So that's a great opportunity there. And financial planners love it. Those who understand it. So make sure your financial planner doesn't poo-poo on it.
We forgot to mention, and we kind of skipped over the part that when you do a reverse or purchase, you don't have a mortgage payment.
There's that.
0 mortgage payment. You still have to pay your property tax and your insurance, but you can eliminate your mortgage payment. Imagine that either side of the spouse wants to go, you know what, I'd love for my husband or my wife to not have a mortgage payment if I pass. This is a great way to do it, and the equity is still yours. Don't think that the bank owns it.
You don't lose the house. The bank doesn't own the house.
You're just using a little bit of your equity to take care of the mortgage payment on a regular basis. You still have appreciation on the home, which may even balance out that equity you're utilizing.
Yeah, FHA's obviously done a lot of math on this equation. If you're doing a home equity credit line with a reverse, which again is a more advanced product, your credit line grows every year by a certain percentage, and that's because we're expecting property values to go up. So you can continue to actually annuitize yourself an income should you need to from the equity in your property. I can't think of any other way that you can access your property's equity as it goes up every single year. You give yourself a 3% paycheck. It's great.
I like that. All right. So with those that are going to upgrade, meaning they're going to get out of their home, or those who are downsizing and leaving their home, this may be a great opportunity for more inventory for you first-time buyers. This is the last segment that we're going to talk about. First-time buyers need to look at their options. A lot of you think you need 20% down, maybe even 10% down. You can get in for as low as 0% down for our wonderful vets. Again, we always say thank you for your service. 0, maybe even 0 money out of your pocket. Please talk to us. We're one of the best, if not the best, vet lender in L.A. County.
L.A. County, I was going to say, not just in Santa Clarita. By far the best in Santa Clarita for sure, and one of the best in L.A. County. It's something that we're passionate about. We care about our vets, and we
I think it's one of the best loan programs, if not the best loan program available. So vets 0 down. For all the rest of you, 3%, 3.5% down program, 5% down programs. There's a lot of options for you to look at. We'd love you to talk to us. Go to SantaClaritaHomeLoan.com. SantaClaritaHomeLoan.com. You will see all about us and all of our great loan officers. Any one of the loan officers you see there are rock stars. All have well over 10 years experience, if not 20 to 30, like moi. That's right. I started when I was very young. but there's a lot of options that we can go over for you, and we'll put it in a spreadsheet that no one uses, 4-color, 4-page spreadsheet that breaks out everything for you.
Yeah, and not only that, but the reason we were talking about people that miss their projections is because they're all PhDs and they've gone to Harvard and they've done all these crazy things on paper. They don't work in the industry. We live it, feel it, breathe it, see it. Talk to consumers every day, talk to buyers and sellers. We know what's happening on the ground, and I think that gives us unique insight. So, Don, although I love having a guest every week, it's been kind of cool to go back to the roots and just do a show, just you and I.
Yeah, we can dive right in. So, again, remember, you can always find out more, see our past shows, see our great interviews with some of the best professionals in town at donandgino.com, donandgino.com. Go to that. That's our hub for so much great information. Again, you can reach out to any of our loan officers at SantaClaritaHomeLoan.com. You can get a bunch of professionals at aprgi.com. You name it, we got it. We thank you for joining us every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Have a wonderful weekend.